You ever look back at a choice you made, a relationship you pursued, and wonder, what was I thinking? Because I do, often. My name is Terry, and a few years ago, I stood at a crossroad with two very different men in my life. One was safe, godly, gentle. The other, exciting, magnetic, and destructive. I chose wrong, and the consequences, they stayed with me longer than the man did. This story begins when I was about 27. I had a good job, I was active in church, and I was finally beginning to feel like I was ready for something serious. I had gone through a few messy situationships in my early 20s. You know the type, no labels, just confusion, and way too many tears for someone who is not your boyfriend. So when I met Michael, it felt refreshing. We met at a friend's Bible study. He wasn't the loudest in the room, but when he spoke, you listened. He was consistent, the kind of man who texted good morning without fail, who remembered prayer requests, who genuinely cared. And I'll admit, part of me thought, finally, a man who is emotionally available and loves God. But here's the plot twist. I didn't feel the butterflies. At the same time, Derek entered the picture. He was everything Michael wasn't. Tall, stylish, confident, and funny. We met at a mutual friend's birthday dinner. He made everyone laugh, but somehow made me feel like the only woman in the room. Within 2 weeks, he was calling me every night. Within a month, we were talking, and that's where the storm began. Derek knew what to say and when to say it. He made me feel beautiful, wanted, even desired, and in my head, that felt like love. Our conversations were deep and late and filled with chemistry, but they were never spiritual. Whenever I brought up anything about church or faith, he'd say, let's not get too religious, let's just be real with each other. And I brushed it off, because let's be honest, when you like someone, you find a way to justify things. He didn't believe in waiting for marriage, and though I told him I was saving myself, he'd often say, but you're grown, God understands love. I didn't agree, but I stayed, because I thought I could change him. Ladies, hear me. Never enter a relationship thinking you're the Holy Spirit. And then came the mixed signals. 1 week, he'd talk every day. The next, he'd disappear and say he was busy. I remember once we had plans to meet for dinner. I dressed up, waited. He didn't show. The next day, he texted, sorry babe, things came up. No explanation. And somehow I said, it's okay. Because when your heart wants someone, your brain can lie to you. During this whirlwind, Michael was still present, not forceful, but gently. He'd still check in, send Bible verses, and ask if I was okay. He never flirted, he just showed up. I remember once I had a terrible flu. Derek didn't even text, but Michael, he came by with soup, left it at the door, and sent a simple message. Hope you feel better soon. Let me know if you need anything. No pressure, just kindness. And yet, I still told myself he was too safe. I even told a friend, he's great, but I don't feel that spark. What I didn't realize was that spark I was chasing was trauma in disguise. Eventually, Michael asked for clarity. He said, Terry, I like you. I'm not here to compete, but I need to know where you stand. And I told him the truth, that I was seeing someone else. He nodded slowly and said, then I'll respect that, but I hope you choose someone who honors you and who honors God. And that was the last time we spoke. 2 months later, Derek and I were official, or so I thought, because one day I got a DM from a girl who said, hey, are you dating Derek? Because so am I. My heart dropped. At first he denied it, said she was crazy, but the screenshots, they told a different story. I broke things off with Derek, but not before being left completely shattered. My self-worth was hanging by a thread. I didn't want to pray. I didn't want to open my Bible. I just cried. Cried over what I lost. Cried over who I had become. A woman who ignored God's whispers for the sake of temporary attention. And then one day, I saw Michael's engagement photo online. He looked so peaceful and happy. I stared at that post for a long time, not because I wanted to break them up, but because I realized he was everything I needed and I walked away. I wish I could say I moved on easily, but I had to sit with the pain, the regret. I journaled, I cried, I went for counseling, and slowly I began to realize something. I had chosen from a place of brokenness, from a place that believed love had to be dramatic, chaotic, and intense to be real. But God was teaching me that real love reflects Him, not Hollywood. 1 Corinthians 13 kept echoing. Love is patient. Love is kind. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily anchored. It keeps no record of wrongs. And I realized Derek was never love. Michael was. And now I needed to become the kind of woman who would recognize that kind of love if it ever came again. If you're in a similar situation, please listen. Do not ignore the man who prays with you for the man who plays with you. Don't trade consistency for chaos. Don't call peace boring. God is not the author of confusion. If your relationship constantly leaves you drained, anxious, or questioning your worth, cease. It's not from Him. Sometimes the wrong guy is a lesson, but sometimes the right guy is a test to see if you've healed enough to receive what you prayed for. If this story resonated with you, let me know in the comments. Have you ever chosen wrong or almost did? And if you're in that season now, take a moment, pause, and ask God, is this your will or just my want? Don't be ashamed of past mistakes. We've all made them, but grow through them. And when love comes again, choose right. This is Terry, and this was my Unheard story. If you are into real, raw, and redemptive stories like this, please hit that subscribe button. Here on her Unheard story, we don't sugarcoat the journey, but we walk it together with faith. This is a new channel, and your support truly means the world to me. Like, comment, share, and most importantly, subscribe. Every single click helps this message reach the hearts that need it most.